Hi. Have you ever received a pizza from Domino's or a burger from McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken from KFC without placing an order? Somebody knocked your door and delivered pizza or burger or KFC without ordering, and you simply took the parcel and enjoyed the meal. Okay, example 1. Now coming to example 2. Have you ever appointed an advocate? An advocate entered into wakalat and he represented or he gave his services only to the extent of filing the case, and after that 90% of the job was done by his junior. Senior never came to court from the first date. Presume that the case ran for around 2 to 3 years, and in 2 to 3 years you were never in contact with the senior. Even after the judgment also you were never in contact with the senior. The junior informed on the first date, the junior informed that his senior has sent him, and you trusted the junior and took his services and enjoyed the services of the junior and won the case. Whom should you pay the advocate fee? To the junior who claimed to be the junior of the senior, or the senior who entered a wakalat with you? So remember these two examples and you will understand the concept what I am saying. So today's topic is automatic contract. Now you know about a contract which you enter between the two parties. Now what is automatic contract? I will explain. Now for a general understanding, what is a contract? A contract is an agreement that is entered between two parties where you can carry that agreement to the court. That is a contract. So if you are carrying that agreement to the court, it should be legal. Okay, two persons agreeing to do smuggling is not an agreement which can be carried to the court. So that is an illegal contract, illegal agreement. So the definition of a contract is you should be able to legally enforce it if there is a default by the one party. So a legally enforceable agreement is contract. So this is the definition of a contract. Now what are the elements of a contract? Fundamental elements, I am not going into the secondary elements. The fundamental elements of the contract is there should be two parties. One party should offer a task. The other party should accept the offer to complete the task and claim consideration. So there will be a task, there will be an offer, there will be an acceptance of that offer, there will be consideration for the completion of the task, and needless to say there will be two or more parties. Now this is a contract. If it is legal, the terms and conditions of the contract are, if they are legal, then you can take it to the court. This is the definition of the contract. A legally enforceable agreement is a contract. Now coming to a situation, and the topic in this video is, what if there is no contract? In the pizza example which I gave you earlier, there is no contract between the pizza delivery company or the Domino's Pizza or the McDonald's burger or the KFC and you. There is no agreement. There is an agreement between the pizza and the person who placed the order, pizza company and the person who placed the order, but not between you and the pizza company. In the second example, the junior advocate is not having any contract with the client. Only the senior advocate is having the contract. Generally it is possible in the courts, they represent. Seniors do not come to the court, juniors come and learn the work. That's the practice in India. Therefore I am taking this example. So what if there is no contract? Then law came to the rescue. Now just kindly for a moment see what is coming up on your screen. Some provisions of the Contract Act. Now these are the provisions pertaining to quasi-contract. Okay, the two examples belong to quasi-contract. In fact, the advocate example which I referred earlier, in that there is a regular contract and the quasi-contract also. So the quasi-contract means automatic contract, contract created by law, contract created by court. Okay, I will come to the principles when this quasi-contract can be applied in a moment. So you understood the difference between a contract and a quasi-contract. In a quasi-contract, there will be no offer, there will be no acceptance, there will be no task, there will be no consideration. Nothing was agreed prior to beginning of the task, completion of the task. But one party got benefited from the task, other party got a loss from the task. So in a quasi-contract, the elements are profit and a loss. The defendant got profit, the plaintiff is at loss. There is no agreement. Then it becomes a fictional contract, quasi-contract, automatic contract, court contract, or contract created by law. Hope you understood the difference between contract and quasi-contract. Now, what are the principles that are applied in a quasi-contract? Now, the principles applied are, there are two principles. Principle of unjust enrichment. So here defendant got enriched unjustly. You ate the pizza or burger or fried chicken unjustly without paying any amount to the company who delivered the food product, under an impression that there is no agreement between the pizza company and you consumed the food. But pizza company is at loss. You are at profit. So quasi-contract comes into play and there is no contract. The regular contract is not there. In the second example also, you took the services from a junior advocate. Quasi-contract comes into play. In the first example, goods come into play. In the second example, service come into play. There was a contract with the advocate, senior advocate, but his services were limited only to the extent of filing the case. Once the case is filed and on the first date to the judgment, you saw only the junior advocate, and once the judgment was in your favor, you didn't bother even to meet the senior advocate, except for the payment of the fee, which you could transfer online. Now you could pay the fee to the senior advocate, or you could pay a fee to the junior advocate to the extent of 90% and 10% to the senior advocate directly. Either way you can pay the fee, but you must pay the fee to the junior advocate because you got enriched with the services of the junior advocate unjustly. Proportionately, there is another principle called quantum meruit. So applying the principle of quantum meruit, you have to pay to the junior and the senior in the proportion of 90% and 10% respectively, because that is how the services were obtained by you. So you can understand this by saying that quasi-contract is a contract which automatically comes into play whenever there is no contract, and whenever you took benefit from one person and that person is at loss, you are at profit. Hope I am clear enough. This video is long. Thank you. Thanks for hearing. If you have any doubts regarding contracts and quasi-contracts, kindly ask in the comment section and kindly subscribe. And if you like my explanation, kindly press the like button and do comment so that I will understand if I'm making any mistake in my explanation or if I need to improve. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.